bias.
Hey guys, we're back. And we're gonna be getting into show match best of 7 Snute versus Major in a moment, but no regrets will join us here, lamenting about the qualifiers today. Are you gonna come back on Saturday?
I'll try.
Well,
Yeah,
so-
I should be fun actually. It's during the regional, like whatever the fuck, WCS Challenger, right?
Well,
The
so
same
there's
day,
one-
27.
There's
Oh
one
yeah,
tomorrow,
that's
which isn't a conflict, and the 27th. Okay, maybe we'll make that the 28th then.
well. The
20
European one is on the 27th. The American one isn't.
Well, it's
Maybe I got that
27 for me.
reversed.
It's 9 a.m. 9 a.m.
Well,
For me?
point is, we're streaming.
Second
I haven't
one.
looked into it. We'll adjust accordingly. But the next one that doesn't, because it's not gonna conflict. Is the idea? We got
Right.
tomorrow's and we got the one on the weekend. Is what we'll say to be safe. You're gonna come back though for those, right?
Yeah, I'll try. I should be fine. I mean, I'll definitely go to the one that I signed up for. It should be fine. I don't think there'll be any conflicts. Like, the only reason why I wouldn't be there is for conflicts, and you guys said that wouldn't happen, so
Yeah,
should be fine. All right. I mean, thanks for playing. I appreciate you guys
reverse
coming on the No Regret
shoutouts.
show. I'll see you guys though. Good luck
All right.
with the
Later,
show
Jake.
match.
And good luck tomorrow, man.
Later.
Hopefully people show up so we can actually have the qualifier.
Oh, it's tomorrow. Okay, yeah.
Well, there's one tomorrow
there's
and there's
still
one on the
two.
weekend. Like there's still 2
Right.
wildcard qualifiers.
Right. So this is the second wildcard qualifier will be before the first one at this point.
Yes, technically, yeah.
We're not gonna move it if there's like just Jake.
Well, it's not our decision. If the sponsors say
God
the signups are bad, they'll move it.
Sponsors,
All right,
come on, man.
Jake, get
All
the
right.
fuck out of here. We gotta go get things sorted. Thanks again, man.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Good luck.
All right, I guess I'll recall you here and you recall me on Discord, and we'll get this party ready to go.
Okay.
Oops. By the way, for those who don't know, Snute just needs a couple of minutes, so he's not quite ready to play just yet. I think is still streaming. I don't actually know. But there we go. Guess I'm right back. Hello.
No, it's coming in double. There we go. Hello.
Okay, it shouldn't be anymore, right? We good?
I fixed.
Cool. All right, so we have a match arena page up. Honestly, guys, you don't have to donate anything to this. $200 just for some fun show match stuff so we can put on a show today. We've already paid the bill for this. But if you want to, if you are like, oh man, I love watching Major play. I love watching Snoop play. The prize money is going to be split 50-50 regardless. So if you want to do it through the match arena page, by all means, please do. Otherwise, just sit back and enjoy the show and the best of 7. I really don't know that anything in the patch is going to affect this matchup all that much. I don't think we saw, I guess at odd times you would see Raven here and there. Thors were made in very special scenarios, and it was like 1, maybe 2 at a time. So I don't know how much of the balance patch will have hit this matchup, but at the end of the day, I think Major and Snute still just going to be a fun best of 7.
Yep. And it's gonna be pretty cash. Totes cash. So.
Yeah. So I'm just going to flip a coin. Someone picks the first map, and we'll do loser's pick after that.
Say special is 1. I typed in coin flip and it literally flipped a coin in Google. I've never done that before. I've always got a random.
I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna screen region it. That's not a screen region. So what'd you do? You just typed in coin flip into Google?
Yeah, Google coin flip.
Coin flip. Coin flip. Nope. Coin flip. Oh, that's cool. You gotta put an actual space or it doesn't do it.
Oh, wow,
Then you can flip it again. That's neat. Hey, this will save us so much time.
I know, right? Amazing. Google's the best.
By the way, I don't know when, I guess it was while we were playing, Cassiana resubbed for 36 months to say this is officially my longest relationship sad face. I know, man, me too. I was Zergling cheered some bits.
Yeah.
Cassiana also cheered 200 bits, saying why not? And then Shaughnessy was a 5 months. There we go, resub. Couldn't find the number. Thank you very much for coming back for 5 months. Blub. Yo, if you guys didn't see it, by the way, Bill finally got his jersey for GSL, and well, maybe you don't want to watch last night's show. It was cool watching him have the jersey, which was nice.
Yeah, it was. I was very pleased to see it. I mean, I got the jersey too, but it didn't look nearly as snazzy.
Zombie got one that was frankly too small, is what the story is here, guys.
I mean, everyone's like gotten a size too small, and they kind of like fit it, and it's like hugging all the wrong places and tiny, right? I don't think I've ever gotten one that wasn't a kid's size that literally wouldn't let me put my head through the hole.
Yeah, that's weird.
So that was special.
Well, speaking of special,
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and retweet what's going on, guys. We appreciate it. Someone chat saying they would donate for a Carbot mod show match. You know what? We could possibly have that be something that happens in the future. Today was just kind of a for funsies, like let's YOLO this type thing, but totally could try and make that happen sometime in the future if there's enough interest for it. The problem is gauging if there's enough interest, though, because while someone might say something like that, they also might mean, oh, I donate, but like I meant like $1. I don't have that kind of money.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, on the t-shirt sale side of things, we're very close to our goal. Let me show you guys here on stream. I can only show you so much without getting in trouble. We have, okay, so the top one is EU. No, the top one is North America. Okay, so USA, we've sold 27 shirts. Europe, we sold 21. We're at 48 out of our 50 goal. If you guys haven't seen this shirt, it actually looks pretty snazzy. You can click on the description down below or type !shirt in chat for a link. I do hope you guys will consider buying the shirt. It is the perfect representation of BaseTradeTV. But it looks like Snoot's finally ready to go. Wow. We looked for a show match, even put up some money, and couldn't even find 2 GMs. I mean, seriously.
You.
Gives a peek at what I'm talking about. Alright, so we'll do the intros, and then I need to go check and see if my AC's on. It's getting really toasty in here. The building AC is actually really, really nice, I've learned recently, but I did haul out the AC unit that I had in my room from when I lived back home. And I may have to set that up soon.
Yeah. People keep telling me that Korea is really hot, but I keep on checking the weather, and I'm like, it's not that hot. So, I don't know who to believe.
Oh, I forgot the settings and stuff were turned down for the Crowbot mod, guys, so we'll have to adjust that afterwards. Also, yeah, the FPS seems to be down again. Hold up, we gotta remake this. WTF is going on with this? StarCraft, please. I'm like very much intentionally running on like 720 to avoid these problems. I'm just gonna restart StarCraft as a whole. So back in a moment, guys. Apologies for the technical delays. Although, admittedly, I haven't played anything since the patch, and now I'm like super paranoid that I'm just getting like patch owned. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that happened to you before.
Well, the irony
Very
here
unlucky.
yeah. The irony here, though, is Nate said that the FPS was supposed to be, if anything, better. They supposedly fixed that friends list thing that would cause you to lose FPS if you had too many friends.
Mm-hmm.
I obviously can't confirm that, but let me just go into replay that game really quick. Oops, got like 1 million replays. Because like the settings are on medium. Normally they're on ultra. We run at 60 FPS, no problem. All right, this is way better. Okay, we're good. The BaseTradeTV jersey looked so cool. Fuck yeah, it did. Those are unfortunately not cheap to produce because apparently if you want to print anything on arms, it's a bit costly. So that's a shame. If anyone could find us a retailer that did that for not an arm and a leg, I would absolutely love to print those and sell them for people. Where's the Twitch logo? Put our sponsors back up.
Need water. So I guess the EU servers are down anyways, or going down.
Oh really? Why?
I don't know. I saw people on Twitter tweeting about it, and then chat was mentioning it in Snoot's chat. So this is like perfectly timed for him.
Oh, yeah, more power to it. All right, this is an ugly ass version of the logo. There's a better one. There we go. Twitch.
Oh God. Mm.
All right, folks. This time with some proper FPS in order. We are getting into game number 1 in a best of 7 This is the abrupt show match, as we've officially titled it. There is a match arena page available, so if you guys would like to give some of these players a bit more cash, check out the match arena page, because we will be sending all the money over there to them. 50-50 is going to be the split, because this is a show match, not like a hardcore competition, so we're hoping to see some fun stuff out of these guys, as this is probably the first official cast I've done, at least, on the New Balance patch. But, like we said, I don't think a lot of the New Balance changes will affect this matchup. We'll cover them for you all who are in, I guess, out of the loop. Not in the loop, out of the loop. But before we do that, I want to introduce this guy in the top left. He is an upstanding citizen, to say the least. The very, very much from Norwegia, Red Zerg player, Liquid Snute.
In the bottom right, as the Blue Terran, he is SpeCial, currently residing in Korea.
Yeah, player formerly known as Major. And I guess just to clarify, guys, I know Norwegia is not Norway.
I was like wondering why you were embellishing.
Embellishing, that's a good way to phrase that. Okay, so we went over the patch changes a little bit earlier, though there's really not a lot though that affects this matchup. For the Terran side of it, Thor's got an armor buff from 1 to 2 as their default. This is actually a pretty nice change, but I don't think it's a make or break, because like a full surround of Lings is probably still going to kill a Thor, although it might just be you need 1 or 4 extra Lings. The other big change was the auto turret now has a little bit less damage, but lasts about, I think, almost like 3 seconds longer. So we did start seeing a little bit of the Raven enter this matchup, but not enough for me to say that that's going to be too impactful on the overall scheme of things.
I don't think it will be much at all. I mean, there's been arguments over whether it's a nerf or a buff, and I would say that it's really neither. They're going to be better and worse in
It's
different
situational,
situations.
yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, like for instance, if they don't pull away, then I guess it's a lot better. But if they do, then it's worse because they don't even get that other shot in.
How much? What's the new damage? It's like 17 or 18 or something. It's
like a little bit more. So I don't know.
I was gonna say it might not actually be better, because if it takes like 3 shots to kill where it only took 2 shots before.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like if they do end up pulling away, then it's worse because they won't get that extra shot. But if they just stay there, then it's like even more damage overall. I think it was what it was.
Well, that's my argument. Is I don't know if it'd be more damage overall, because if it takes an extra shot to actually kill a worker.
Well,
hypotheticals. It doesn't really matter. We'll see.
Well, like I'm saying, but we're like, I think we know what we're trying to say is that like if you stayed in the auto turret with a Thor, the damage overall would be better now. If the Thor would take more damage if it just stayed there and didn't move.
Wait,
than if it didn't.
What does the Thor have to do with an auto turret? What?
Well, I'm just giving something that has enough health. Oh my god, whatever. Anyways, things are coming in here. Unfortunately, the Hellions weren't quite ready to go, but some good kiting, and he even pulled away the SCVs. So.
Oh, so you really saved that Marine? Dank memes.
Pretty good. It's
all right.
Training.
Well, Snute, again, I just want to know, guys, he has been streaming / playing for something like 8 hours leading into this. Major literally hopped out of bed to play. So it's a very big difference in terms of warm-up. It'd be kind of cool to see how much that affects the matchup. But to note, we are playing on North America Central, because Snute's coming from Europe and Major's playing from Korea. It's probably the best we can do, but it's still not the greatest.
Yep. It's difficult to have these type of matchups. SpeCial is going to be going for a Hellbat attack, followed up with a little bit of Liberator harassment. So saying Hellion should be a little on guard about this, but he doesn't have a Roach Warren, only just a couple of extra Queens, which isn't too surprising for him, but will that be enough? I'm thinking no. I'm thinking he has no idea this is on the way, which is unfortunate. He just sees it now with the Overlord, but just made 2 drones.
Well, the ramp is something he can hold on for a bit of time, but tightening away from it lets the Marines up. A couple of drones get pulled to buy some time for the Queens to get a few shots in. We'll see if that's enough. No transfuses because tumors were planted down, and I think you're right. This was just a big blindside.
Yeah. Very unfortunate, too.
Someone got Sandra Bullock in the show match.
I hate that movie. You know, not even focus firing the medevac at first because he had to kite the Queen, so they got it by time.
You know what? He's managing this surprisingly well for how bad he got cut off, but I think it's still a little bit too much.
Yeah, no, this is still bad. You're right. Like he's managing it as best as someone can, which is like basically just Queens. But this is too much. Liberate's even gonna get, I think, a last shot. Oh, not quite.
Elbows the Night Larva, which is really annoying. The Queens, did get shot down. This is unfortunate because the other one does not have the health to fight whatsoever. Spore Crawler coming down to try and prevent this. I'm surprised he's somehow still finding mining with this, but 2 lanes here, a Queen there. Snute is fighting so well with so little, but I still don't think it's going to be enough.
Good God, he's going to kill 7 Queens. Like, forget about the 13 drones. Like, this last Queen, I feel like it's going to go down eventually. That's a lot.
He cleans up most of the ground force, though. And I mean, truly, the Hellbats were a little bit more threatening than anything else. I just, for Snute's sake, you got to wonder if he's going to get caught off guard by the follow, because SpeCial is going for Banshees with Cloak behind this. A couple of Spore Crawlers are coming down because of the Liberator, so I don't think detection will be an issue, but it still might be damage he has to manage. 14 workers dead on 39 drones isn't in the worst place, but not a great place either.
Trying to counterattack, and that is a very good move usually, but SpeCial has not stopped making Hellions, so unfortunately it is going to be at the loss of Lynx.
I like that move, though. He segments about half of his Lynx off to try and get some SCV kills. It's not going to net him much, like literally 2 workers die. And they'll even get to deny the third base a little bit here. Snake goes to the doorbell. I'm going to check the AC.
Okay, then. Yeah, this is about as good as it's going to be. If SpeCial had tried to transition out and into bio, he's actually going mech, but out of it and then added on reactors and barracks, he would actually have so few Marines that counterattack could have done like equalizing damage, at least to the worker kill counts. The Queens is another issue. But, you know, with more Hellions, it was not a problem.
Alright, sorry, I'm back. Yeah, my AC may be acting up today, which is also maybe good for not doing a 7-hour double elimination cast. Sometimes. Well, let's take bets here. What do you think? You got food or Amazon delivery or neighbors knocking because he's being too loud?
I think just someone trying to sell him something.
The mystery teacher that'll solve all your ails.
Yeah, we get so many of those people that come around because like they do something else at someone else's house and then they just bother basically saying it and telling everyone else about it. So we get it like lots. It's really annoying.
So I love that somehow with a Spore Crawler at the base defending, SpeCial manages to maneuver around, get about 5 drone kills and some nice damage on the Queens. That's some good Banshee control.
Yeah, he's going mech. I mentioned this while you were fixing your AC, so plenty of Hellions, and a couple more Banshees.
This also might mean we will see perhaps some of the changes come in, because Thor is, well, maybe not the main composition when it comes to mech versus Zerg, are actually units you'll still get at some point. So see if that armor effect has, I guess it depends if Snute goes air or not.
Oh! Wow! Wowzers!
Okay, this is like the most mech it could get. Just this picture right here, this frame. You've got 4 Cyclones being made around a Banshee speed upgrade.
Yeah, that's they did change it off of the fusion core necessity, but I mean at a time where people really had stopped trying to experiment at, you know, after the beginning of Legacy of the Void. So how is it really gonna matter? Well, that's now you can get it here, and it's quite fun. I'll say that much for sure. And then it can definitely get enough kills to make it worthwhile.
Well, so
I mean, honestly, Snute's already kind of like in a bad spot, so I think anything SpeCial does is gonna work.
I agree with that, but there's actually an important aspect to this where one of the primary reasons nobody plays mech against Zerg is because Swarm Hosts are seriously almost auto-win status versus it right now. However, one of the problems with dealing with Swarm Hosts is you just can't catch them with most mech units, they're too slow. Speed Banshees, however, can keep up with them and kill them, which is kind of a cool, like, forward thinking, but maybe not going to have any bearing on the game because Snute may just die here. He has no army supply. In fact, I'm not going to say may, he's going to die here. There's roaches on deck, but with Cyclones that have a +1 upgrade, they're going to tear through roaches. 6 damage a shot every 0.1 seconds. Good luck dealing with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, at the very least, Snute has the roaches. His Roach Warren literally just finished the attack come in, but it's very little.
Yo, if this was enough time that he actually had Ravagers instead of roaches, I think he would have held this a lot more easily. But as we can see, the problem is, even though he deals with maybe the ground forces, those Banshees are still going to be an issue. He lost a base to it. He'll probably lose another one on the way out.
Yeah, Definitely a cancel on that base. I mean, there are 4 queens on creep, so if he wants to just get out, then I guess he could. But I think it'd be worth just dancing around, keeping them out of position, so maybe something further goes in the main base.
Well, he doesn't actually lose the hatchery. That's nice. Something going well for Snute.
He takes another one too at the usually the 5th base, so I think it's either one is going to go down if the Banshees really wanted to dance around. Just scans and sees what is not really not a bad Roach army considering how long that Hellbent attack took to clean up, how many queens had to be replaced, how many drones died. Surprising he got to any Roach army at all, but
Mother of God. A lot more
it really
Hellbents
is
to deal
about.
with.
It's about cyclones and a lot about air. I think he just finished up like 3 more starports.
Now, normally queens are pretty good against Banshees, folks, but not when there's this many of them firing away. Hitting so freaking hard. The Hellbats may, even if they get cleaned up, the problem is still these Banshees. Snoot's got no Spire, no intention to go Spire. He's gone for Hydras instead, which are not bad. Banshees, as fast as they may be, they still have the problem with they can't really fight most units head on.
Right, yeah. But, I mean, the Hydras still have that effect that they do versus, like, Mutas or Phoenixes, where if there's not enough of them, then they will be picked off. With 10 coming out, that should be enough.
Hopefully and ideally. That poor queen. He's going to hunt these Hydras, too.
Oh, yeah, he didn't have enough to one-shot him. Alright then. That's the, I think that's the plus 10 health.
10 health hype!
No, I need 7 Banshees to one-shot him. Or 6, I think there was 5 before. Just in case anyone really wanted to know.
I just want to point out, Snute is a player who, I know everyone's demanding like, oh, you should tap out, but he's actually taking some interest, like, the fights at home are not bad, but he doesn't have information on what SpeCial's doing to get ahead on the other side of the map. And I think if he did, maybe he'd feel a little bit more daunting. But, like, honestly, these scrappy defensive fights, they're not coming out too badly in his favor in terms of what's happening right here, right now. But what's happening over here and what's going to be happening soon is still a problem.
Yeah. I mean, SpeCial felt so confident that he goes ahead. Oh, there's an Overseer. Oh, no. Well, I was going to say he takes an Orbital as his 4th. That's a slaughter.
GG. All right, so SpeCial will take the first game in this best of 7 abrupt show match series. Abrupt being the, I guess, the real key word here. So for those who missed out on the information earlier, just to really, I've tried. Why is the stream not associating with the abrupt show match? I've tagged it like 3 times on Team Liquid. What was I saying? Oh, right. So the reason we're doing this, folks, instead of the Gameland Invitational qualifiers, is just like the signups are really low, really low. Like 7 players can't even make a round of 8 low, and I suggested to the sponsors when they messaged me that like it'd probably be better to do it on the weekend after WCS wraps up. You should see more North American player participation because WCS will be sending 4 North American players over to Jönköping, but the rest probably can't afford to pay their own way to go. Mm-hmm. So fingers crossed for those folks.
Alright, next match's gonna be Odyssey.
Okay.
Not surprising.
By the way, Snute is streaming his point of view, guys. His first-person point of view. Because he was streaming before we even got into it. So he's probably got no stream delay. If you want to enjoy and watch from his point of view, I encourage it. Just that reminder, please do not bring spoilers back here. We will not appreciate that. Of course, just did a quick link on the Match Arena page to see that we actually had some people throw some bucks in to the prize money. So 47ness throws in $25 to say doing it all on the fly. Good job, BaseTradeTV. And then Duddles, $5. Who the hell is Duddles? Good question. That brings the total prize pool up to $230. It's $115 a piece for playing in the show match. Because again, we're not taking any sort of cut from it, guys. We're just giving it to the players. If you guys want to thank myself and Zombie Europe, consider subscribing to the channel. Maybe consider cheering some bits. But other than that, check out the Match Arena page. Game number 2 kicks off, though, and in the bottom right, he's about to feel the burn. It's going to feel really close, too. It's Liquid Snute Hatchery first.
Apparently, Specialist wants to go back to bed. At the top left is the Red Terran. He is special.
Yeah, so it is late, I believe, in Korea.
Yes, it's like 3 a.m.
Yeah, so again, Major, aka Special, he was literally going to bed when we grabbed him for the show match. Hopped out to come play it. Snute, on the other hand, has been streaming all day, so it's kind of funny. These guys are both probably exhausted, just on the different side of the tired spectrum.
Yeah, yeah. It is a gasless, just marine rush. So it's always so funny though, because if it is scouted, even if it's scouted by the time, like when they're actually starting to produce marines, so pretty late scout, like drones are still okay against it.
Whoa.
Okay, so 4x.
I hope it doesn't stop at 4. I hope it goes full on 5.
Doesn't look
5
like
by
it.
5.
Doesn't look like it. So Stu might have to give up his natural.
Well,
I mean, yeah.
I mean, the key thing is like it's Marines, right? So a 5x actually isn't that crazy.
No, I mean, that's actually what people were doing when they were first trying to bring in the T-Rax Legacy of the Void.
God,
I think it was a 5-Rax and a 4 gateway.
Okay, the Overlord sees the barracks. Snute's now aware what's going on. The problem is, I don't think he saw the bunker at the ramp, and he's not going to be able to transition units between the main and the natural if that ramp goes up. Snute's a smart player too. If he knew this was the case, he would have pulled drones and killed that SCV without a doubt.
Yeah, yeah. Now he's waiting for the Lings to pull the drones. Because the thing is, he has a lot of drones. So, like, they aren't too bad. But once the bunker's up, then, right, they can't help surround anymore.
Yeah, he's really trying to avoid fighting too till that queen was out to help, but now realizing the severity of the situation, drones pulled, realized the bunker's already done, goes back to mining because you're not going to fight that. Maybe a spine crawler comes down, or maybe more Lings are just what he's hoping to surround with. I mean, the thing is, this hatchery down here, as long as he can cut off the reinforcement lines with the Lings and the queens, he'll be good. Ooh, Special's giving up some positioning here. This is a bit of a bluff. Of course, this is a way for Snute to know for sure whether that bunker was empty or not. Speed's still far enough out that this isn't going to be easy anytime soon.
The problem really is that if you let this snowball, then it is like a T-Rax back in the day. Like, it's actually very powerful. The problem with the 4 or 5 racks that was experimented with is that they would just pull the drones really early after scouting it and then, like, stop the count while it was still at 3 or 4 Marines. Like, if it gets to, I want to say, like, 14 plus Marines, I don't think you can actually win. You gotta, like, start thinking about other alternatives to breaking out, like a Nidus Worm or Roaches, Ravagers. This
is where these Lings become really important. Just cutting off the Marines. It's already a really big number. It's going to kill a hatchery, and things are going to suck for Snute. But he's trying to go for the break. The Marines were not in the bunker. They were busy out in the bottom of the ramp, so he gets a full surround of the bunker with Marines inside of it. Marines on the ramp are still not going to be any easier to deal with. He breaks the first bunker. There's still another one to worry about, however. All those Lings are now gone. But the reinforcements have been cut off. A barracks even died, and Snute's not going to have to deal with more than what's right here, right now.
That looks like too many, though. That's like 10, I think. There's 2 more just popped out. Something like that. But like, they can deal with the queens. But if there are drones around it, then maybe it's suspicious. They actually get Lings around it, even better.
Gets in the bunker. If they pop out of the bunker.
Wow, that's it.
GG.
Wow.
I tell you guys, like, Snute and many other players, like, Snute was probably sweating balls there, but most other players would have lost there, I feel. That took some really calm, like, that took experience of being proxy raxed to know what to do there is what that was. That wasn't like a just first time you see it, you know what to do with it for sure. Nicely done. We're going to go to small commercial break really quick. Thank you to Mr. Meeseeks. Thank you for the 5-month resub. We missed TurboGuard earlier for 3, Love Crit for 5, and I think that catches us up. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Thank you for watching. All right, folks, welcome back. Actually, what's kind of cool is if you were watching Snute's stream just now, you actually got to see, we weren't lying when we do these ad breaks. We really just insert them to create the minimal amount of downtime possible. And you saw Snute only had to wait like 15 or 20 seconds. So it's, yeah, whenever we throw ads up, it's just to cover absolutely nothing going on, like, for example, hosting a lobby. But spawning here in the top right, game number 3 in this best of 7 abrupt show match. It's going to be the blue Zerg player, the man of the hour, Liquid Snute.
In the bottom left was the Red Terran. He is special.
Ah, I see they didn't fix the camera problems with the patch.
No, they did not. Still the observer laggy camera going on here.
You got your lobby fixed,
I'm gonna miss it when it's gone. Yes, and I guess that's because I directly messaged him about it, so.
Well, we should directly message him about this follow-up problem too, since you have access and I don't.
Yeah, who knows? I know like other people talked about it, so I mean I'm hoping they actually know about any problem whatsoever, and just like, you know, have a list of things that they have to get around to, and they just, you know, don't get around to it. But that might not be the way it goes.
I just know that there was some big problem. I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was hosting lobbies. It was for like IEM Katowice, I think. And then they went live and they had all the issues. And I'm like, Blizzard, we talked to you about this beforehand. I'm just worried that you're gonna have like GMX Summer come up, and their cameras are gonna be stuck, and like observing will be all stuttery and weird.
Well, yeah. Well, I was gonna say there's also the Montreal when the replay didn't work.
That's what it was.
We
The
had
replays in Montreal.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
what it was. Yeah.
We had experienced that. Wardy had tweeted about it too, and then
The recover game feature was not working as intended. For those who don't know what we're talking about.
Luckily, it wasn't so bad for an offline setting, because it literally just took the players out of the booth and like made them not watch.
Yeah. Fast forward.
Right, so it wasn't so bad, but it was still like I'm pretty sure there's been like some talk about this. It's okay. It's okay.
Well,
anyway,
so very happy to scout that everything has been built at home, so the Overlord doesn't have to worry about getting caught. The other thing too is he scouts this early reactor, so most of the time is Hellions. If he sees the barracks start pumping Marines, okay, he's gonna be a little bit like, what are you doing? But Major, having played mech earlier, and very much I think inclined to play Hellions anyways, nice pickup on the Reaper, will probably be heading that direction again, and Snoot's gonna have a pretty good idea about this.
he might just. It's gonna be interesting to watch. Defender's Landing being widely different than the other two maps you just played on. Abyssal and Odyssey both being pretty big maps. So Defender's Landing comes around, and I think that, for one, the Terran has to worry about the Zerg being aggressive, as the Zerg wouldn't want to, you know, it's more stereotypical for the Zerg not wanting to be caught in a late game situation on such a small map. So you don't want to be like Baneling busted or Ling busted or even Roach busted, because then you could swap the head lanes out for Cyclones. You know, it's a good tool to have, more than trickling out Marines for like a 2-1-1, for instance. And then there's the other benefit where, like, if you do want to go for a Hellbat push again, because it worked out well on Abyssal Reef, then you're there even faster. And Snute might be still very surprised. But, you know, Snute scouted last time the Hellions, but didn't think of the Hellbats. I hope this time he's at least, like, thinking about it.
Well, it's certainly unconventional to see Major have done a Hellbat push in the first place, but dedicate to it beyond to go mech. I think there's just a lot in that game, period, that caught Snute off guard. And he's not a player typically caught off guard, so I don't know that it'll happen again.
There's a couple of things, too, that, like, he doesn't need a Roach Run necessarily to deal with the Hellbats. Like, they're very helpful because they're sturdy and you don't have to mic them as much. But really what you also could do is just, like, keep transfuses on the Queens, you know, not creep straight as much.
Yep.
Get them already in a concave so they're not just, like, literally pounced upon. And then, yeah, have Lings already, which he does. He just made, like, 20.
Yeah. And that was actually the big thing, too. He had just got caught droning, so it was a real rough fight for him right from the get-go. But the Queens are pretty spread. There's not a lot of transfuses, which is a bit of a downside, but I love that that one Queen that gets pulled forward so he get the surround on the medevac. He's target firing it down with some of the Queens, but not all of the Queens.
It was a little awkward. The Lings I thought were supposed to buy time to specifically target fire the medevac, so that felt like
that's what I thought was going to happen, too.
A misclick somewhere. Because instead, like, all the Queens die, and that was just...
You know, what kills me is I've tried pulling out this attack so many times on ladder, and it never looks as good as this.
Right? Like, they always have roaches, or they always, like, snipe your medevac where you, like...
This is, like, blindly ready to go, yeah. But yeah, Snute definitely caught a little bit with his pants down, even though he was prepared. Regardless, minimizes damage. 5 drones, a couple of Queens. If he's got plenty left over to deal with the Liberator, I mean, this is nowhere near as bad as it was in game number 1 today.
Yeah. And considering how well Snute was able to recover, I mean, he never really was able to recover. I mean, let me get that straight. But, like, in the circumstances, his recovery was pretty admirable. I would expect that something here would be actually a lot better.
Recovery is still not even the word. I would say, like, just the fact that he held on. Like, he was Jack on that piece of floating wood saying, Rose, I'll let go.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably a better way to put it. You're right. Yeah, so in this case, you know, he saved a couple of Queens. The Liberator died a lot quicker. Hellions are getting as many kills as the follow-up with the drones. I think he'll do a lot better.
Ling control there was actually really good at a Snute. It's a bit awkward because the Queens weren't quite in position for this, but yeah, 2 Hellions are not so good at killing drones most of the time. Still get a couple of kills though.
Yeah, definitely took out all the lings though, so Special feels confident once again, putting his 3rd CC on location. It's quite bold. Hasn't even bothered making walls either, which is like truly kind of the weird part. You know, you can either break down the rocks to the front and wall off to the right side, or just, you know, do wall offs on both sides, and he just doesn't even care. Gonna go into bio again too. I really wondered if that game went mech was because of just the way the game had gone. He had already like realized Banshees would do so well, so he really invested into Banshees, and his sim was already so late. I mean, this time it seemed he was very on point with that crossover to stim timing, putting the tech lab on over on a barracks.
I just had a really genius idea on something we should have been doing that I've never really thought about doing. I'll get into that after this game. I guess the Banshee could possibly be a problem, but back at home, I guess depot was down, and oh, this is suddenly a problem because of this.
Yeah, well, the depot was down, and like I said, there was no wall at the front either. So that, just happened out.
I'm a bit surprised how that spiraled, but understandable at the same time. Snute now up 2-1 in this best of 7. But okay, so hear me out. This is where I want viewer opinion. This is really important to me for folks who like the 47ist or anyone who contributes money to prize pools and events. Like today, for example, a couple folks threw some bucks in for the Abrupt Show match, up to $250 now in prizing, as Sloza throws in $20 to say I love you, man and woman. But okay, we do a lot of stuff through Match Arena, whether it's BTSL or whether it's show matches or random stuff like this. My question for you guys is, we've got the Mega Tournament fundraiser going on in the background, and we're honestly having trouble starting up funds for it. The hype's not there because it's the middle of the fundraiser, and as we get closer to the end of the year, I'm sure we'll start seeing some action on it again. But the question is for this, when we run events like this, and we're not going to do it for this one. This one is like 100% all the players, okay? I want to make that very clear before I say what I'm going to say. Would you guys be upset if we took, say, like 10% of every prize pool we run through Match Arena and put that towards the Mega Tournament fundraiser? So, hypothetical here. I'm not saying we're doing this, but this is my question. Let's say there's a $100 event going on. $100 show match, whatever. $10 from that show match, or 10% of whatever gets raised, is given to the Mega Tournament fundraiser, while 90% of it still gets split between the players, with no cut for the casters and no cut for Match Arena. Let me know your guys' thoughts in chat. This is actually something I'd love to hear. It's not going to be hundreds of dollars. It's going to literally be like tens. But I'm curious if you guys would be upset if that's something we tried to pull off. Anyways, we are getting into game number 4. And again, I just really wanted to lay it on thick that we are 100% of the money today, because that's how we advertised it, right? We don't want to mislead people. 100% of the money today is going to the players. Spawning here in the top left, he's going to be the Red Zerg player, up 2-1. It's Liquid Snute.
The bottom right is the blue Terran. He is special.
Now, I like mech. I like seeing mech, and I like seeing versions of mech, and I like seeing people try to play mech. But I feel that's kind of interesting, though. It's like, well, game 1 was so dominating for special. Games 2 and 3 were, like, really more on him than Snute, I feel. Game 3, obviously, leaving the deep was down. Big mistake on the Terran player. Game 2, you went for a proxy. So that was either going to go well or not, but that was on you more than your opponent, I feel.
I get what you're saying, for sure. There's definitely also, like, Snute, even after losing so much in that first Abyssal game, still held on. Whereas Special, like, he would have eventually, I think, gotten the Lings killed, but they would have, like, lost, like, 30 SCVs. So obviously it was a game over situation, and he was supposed to tap out. But like, maybe he also would have stayed in if he was Snute, for instance, if Snute was suddenly a Terran player. So it is kind of like bing, bam, boom, kind of abrupt endings, and it looks a little weird, but I'm sure Special just cutting his losses. So
that is actually something to note. Special has been a player to do specifically that. Like, you won't see him sit and struggle through like a 40-minute game that he's slowly been losing. He will usually be a guy to tap out and be like, all right, next game, let's move on.
Yeah, and you know, he really was caught with the. I mean, it's the thing that I brought up on the Abyssal game too. Like, if Snute had counterattacked, but there were Hellions still being made, then Special's fine, even if he does lose like a handful of SCVs, because he cleans them up a lot faster. Because he had swapped so many things over and is building so many reactors and barracks, like, he really had no production. Marines would have been trickling out against a lot of Lings, so. And it's just really unfortunate too, because they were there just slightly bit quicker because he didn't bother breaking on the rocks. Because on Fender's Landing, you break down the rocks, but then you want them broken again because you want to have that direct line to your opponent when you want to Marine push. So some players don't break it down at all, and that can obviously happen.
By the way, thank you for the bits, Robo Knight Senpai, new bit boss.
Nice.
So this Reaper's continuing to be a little annoying, but this is hardly doing anything dangerous. And I think the concern here is that this actually doesn't scout the main. Not a big deal per se as he gets through the back and sees no third base. This is part of the information he's looking for. But I don't know. Blood Boil and some of these new maps, I don't know how prioritized thirds get with like 1 gas and the experimental mineral lines. Although I think these are normal mineral lines. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I do wonder, you know, I see a lot of Terrans take this base anyway, even though the natural isn't so bad. You know, they can wall off. Okay, it's not the biggest wall off ever, and there's the back rocks, I guess, is actually probably the reason not to do it. Even then, they're doing it versus Protoss, so you usually wouldn't worry as much about that. But Terrans don't seem to mind the lack of a second gas.
So the big question on my mind, of course, is Major. What's the next building you're going to be throwing down here? And, oh, it's going to be Bio this time.
All right, Rain of Bio, no tricks. Tricky Hellbat pushes, and it is, well, it's still 1-1-1, like the reactor on the factory for even like a second there. But that's it. So I imagine it would be 3rd CC, but it's not a guarantee. Actually, it's 2 more barracks. It's getting the Viking, gonna push out the Overlords for sure. This Marine doesn't get it.
It won't. So kind of an interesting layout for the map too, for those who are unfamiliar. Zongro was talking about the rocks, but just to show for those who haven't been paying attention or haven't played, you get these rocks in your back that you can break down, open pathways, and that's what's currently protecting Major from ling run-bys on this side, or SpeCial, excuse me. But you also have these collapsible rocks, so if you really want to close off that pathway and double layer it, you kind of can. I think at the end of the day, though, we're not going to be seeing a lot of run-by action. I know that's a bit stupid to say after the way the last game ended, but that's also such a simple mistake that I don't think SpeCial lets happen twice, you know?
Yeah.
Also, I'm really sad we don't have... I wish in some way, some small way, you could have like the announcer packs be part of the observer interface. Even if it was just like the end of game, like having Tesla shout GG or something.
Like they're casting with you.
I know. Well, no, I was even thinking of like Phoenix and Nova announcer packs. Just once in a while, you'd hear like an alert or something would be kind of cool. Add some
I get you.
flavor to it.
Yeah, a little bit. Like if they start putting in voice packs for like the actual units, like the Reaper and stuff.
Yeah, what do you think of the new skins, by the way?
I never can tell a difference when they first show them, but I watched people play with them, and the Viking's really cool, and the Broodlord is... Well, I don't make Broodlords, so I don't care. I don't think it's that cool, but I really like the Viking.
The Broodlord one's gonna look really awesome on Abyssal Reef. It's like aquatic themed.
Yeah, I get that it's aquatic themed, but I'm not like convinced quite that it's like...
I was reading a Reddit thread, or maybe it was Team Liquid, I don't remember, but... And I know a Valkyrie was a unit in Brood War, but I kind of like the idea. Someone said you should call the skin Viking a Valkyrie. It is a little bit slimmer and like almost comes off a bit more feminine. And it's kind of that same theme, which I think is cool, but not important at all.
I would say the Valkyrie in the Brood War game, though, was not feminine at all. It was so chunky.
She was like, you know, she was the Russian pilot from Pacific Rim, right? They just like got the fist pounding. It's like a big block of metal.
He was. That is a lot of lings. You're telling them very much.
I was gonna say it's a lot of lings, but there's a couple of helis that got some amazing splash damage and a lot of Marines on that ramp. Snoot's got no banelings, so there's no real threat here for SpeCial.
This is a huge problem. SpeCial, if he had gone for a 3rd CC, he has less Marines, and they might have been out in the open, so easily surrounded. But by going for like 2 racks like 2 base and really dedicating to it, Snute absolutely got like. I mean, it's almost like a blind counter, like a build order counter. Like, Snute has no upgrades, no banelings, not extra queens. He didn't drone. He was at 37 drones at the time of that. Like, that was a waste. And he's got to hope that he just demolishes this push to really bring him back.
Bacon Hero, Slayer of Things, with a stupid Rifkin drop portrait still. God damn it.
Yeah, that is a lot of banelings. I don't think SpeCial can move in here. He doesn't have any splash, and the Hellions don't really count.
The 1-1's still a lot to add to this, though. I mean, that's 1-1 on a ton of Marines. But at the end of the day, yeah, banelings hit. Segment some of the Marines. He's spread, but it's on creep, and this isn't looking good for SpeCial. Starting to panic a little bit, pick up with what he can, and get the heck out of there.
Yeah, I mean, that's also a bad Going against Banelings with no splash and on creep so deep, that was exactly what Snute needed to do. Demolishes the army, stalled out what could have been a third CC as we're having units here.
Cheeky Widow Mines. Or Banelings, excuse me. I'm like really sad there's no Metal Gear sound after playing the Carbot mod.
Yeah. The upgrade's finally on the way. Lair as well. I mean, like I said, Snute delayed a lot of stuff. Whereas, yeah, SpeCial, you know, he delayed his third CC. He had everything else that is so good for Terran. You know, he had Marines. Am I right, guys? No, he had 1-1 upgrades, and he had production, and he had medevacs to fly around and buy time. You know, but he didn't have a third CC. That's something that you can build along the way. I don't think it's quite the same thing for Snute, who had given up so much. But by demolishing that army fight, he puts him in a better position to come back. To actually get to some decent tech, you know, get to Baneling speed, get those upgrades.
People want to know when the BaseTradeTV announcer pack's coming. Not unless someone decides to make a Reddit thread and somehow gets upvoted to the top Reddit, guys. I don't think Blizzard's going to be considering us at all anytime in the near future.
Yeah.
Although, we've talked about it a couple times, like, hypotheticals, like, what we would do. And I would love to, like, get some of my sound effects in. And like, just like for some of the actions. Widow Minefield did a pretty good job taking out the Banelings. This worked out really well for SpeCial. Snute now with a very small army supply. He's making more lings. He's getting that Baneling speed, but it's all so far away.
Yeah. That was a pretty bad fight for him. Not a very good drop, though. That's nicely denied, but the Banelings are going to get taken out, and he needs Banelings. Oh, lordy. That drop could go back in. Queens are all here.
Dropping the main for sure. Well, staying on the low ground's not bad either, just to heal up and stay safe. It's a little unfortunate that SpeCial's not finding a way to press the issue right now, especially while Snute's army supply is so low in the gutter. But the danger here really is that a couple of Baneling hits could really square away that army, and suddenly you're no longer up 30 supply. So he's got to be careful about the way he handles himself, for sure.
Well, SpeCial should still be running away with this game. His third CC is on location now, and he's at a decent SCV count for what is two and a half bases mining. Just need to stay off that creep, get a couple of good Widow Mine shots.
Oh,
friendly fire.
He retargeted that Widow Mine. That was cool. Not a lot of Terran players will actually do target fire with Widow Mines. That was pretty slick.
Oh, nice. Those Widow Mines didn't get the shots off, but they soaked up all the Banelings anyways.
Mission accomplished. Continues to push on the creep, another base dies. Main got dropped while all this was going on, so while there's drones pulled away from this, there's still no defense, which is a big problem for Snute. He's got transfuses on the queens, but he's not popping them. He's busy looking elsewhere because there's so much going on, and I think SpeCial's just tearing them apart.
I think so. Once again, in this situation, though, on creep against Banelings, this time speed Baneling doesn't go out, so well for him. SpeCial, every time he gets the edge that looks like he could just A-move, he does. Well, I mean, with splits, of course. But, I mean, he doesn't bother, taking his time and scanning and cleaning up creep tumors. And that is always when Snute is like, well, maybe I can still play out this game. I still have 3 bases. Upgrades even evened up. 2-2 to 2-2. And I think if SpeCial could ever kill the queens and get a good scan, that's when he's steamrolling that 3rd base. But until then, those Banelings will always be a problem.
Yeah, it's I guess a little bit daunting to look at this because you constantly look at that bar down below and it's like SpeCial's up double the supply. Why is he not just moving in? But it really is the same way Widow Mines can be catastrophic for Zerg players, Banelings can be so bad for bio. And this is totally understandable why he's taking a sweet time here because he doesn't want to throw this game. And he is, let's not forget, down in the series.
Yeah. This is the nice positioning, though. No creep over to the right side. Plenty of queens that are just waiting for the chance to put down creep, of course. But SpeCial being very cautious.
Ooh, that Widow Mine just friendly fired down some medevacs. This ended up going really well for Snute in that engagement.
Upgrades finished for SpeCial. Not quite so for Snutes. Went for the snipe on the base. Got it.
Decent trades here. Dropping the main did manage to unload. It's going to pick off queens with full energy. Ooh. That stings.
Yeah. He does have so many queens. Doesn't seem to have a lava problem either from continuing to pull them forward.
He's also finally caught up in army supply. For a while, it's just been trailing behind SpeCial. I mean, he's still down, don't get me wrong, but this is no longer the difference of 2 to 1.
Yeah. No, it is one part of Snute doing a great job keeping his cool and depending on his creep spread. It's also like the other part. Every time, like twice now, SpeCial has been in a very good position and attacked on that creep.
He also needs to start transferring around. He's gonna be running out of money soon, especially with the main having mined out fully. And he's taking gold.
To the gold. There's a gold on this map. I never played this long.
I veto it, so I wouldn't know either. Feels bad, man. This is the only map I have vetoed at the moment.
Yeah, actually, I think I vetoed it too because it's so distracting when I play the snow effects.
I know you don't like the aesthetics. I just do not like the design of the map.
I wouldn't mind the aesthetics if like it's not that I'm usually bothered by this either. Usually I'm quite like unawares, but for some reason it's just the snow.
So superficial zombie growth.
Right.
Marauders, of course, soaking some of the Baneling hits, doing this the way they're meant to. He's actually studying the Marauders, tackling into the Banelings. Works out kind of nice. Of course, you got the drop up here, still behind the mineral line, so Snoot's now starting to find trouble. And I mean, at no point has SpeCial been behind in the last like 7 minutes. It's just been a slow push towards what is eventual victory. And Snute, bless him, he's fighting this really well. It's just not well enough yet.
No. You know, maybe if a counterattack had come in at the right moment, say when he pushed off with the Banelings and then kept SpeCial back, I think he does have a recovery process. But SpeCial has been relentless, even if he sometimes is over-dedicated on the creep.
Yeah.
I think maybe Snoot's finally having a larva problem too.
You know, maybe, but he's also going to be having some mineral problems because just the same way SpeCial's mined out of his main, Snoot's going to be mined out of not just his main, but his natural too. So, you know, knocking down these exterior bases, it's not really mattered. It's been like superficial damage up until now when it's really going to matter.
Yeah. Plus, this is one of those situations, like, unlike King Sejong with, I don't remember who it was, Curious, I guess, someone like that.
Off a creep.
Off the creep, not so great. But that situation, you know, he didn't take fights. He just literally gave up the base, went to the other one, gave up the base, went to the other one. Snoot's been trading armies every single time he's tried to save a base. So that just, you know, adds to the problem.
That does bring up an interesting question, though, because, I mean, the thing is, Snute has been trading army, but that's the thing. He's been trading it, and sometimes in his favor. But, yeah, would it have been better just to have given up the hatcheries, kept the Lings and Banelings alive, and snowballed to a bigger number? Because, I mean, Snute has been struggling to stay above 50 army supply this whole game. And while at one point he was close to matching SpeCial, not the case anymore. GG. That ties up the series now, 2-2.
Slugfest.
Yeah. Also, that question about the contributions to the match arena page seemed to have stirred a lot of sparks amongst people. But the problem is, and this is going to be the most douchebaggy thing I can say, I don't really care about the opinion of those who don't contribute, right? There's a lot of folks who will never donate $1, even use the free codes, and they will have the opinion very strongly that says like, I'm looking. So when I ask questions like this, there's a lot of folks like 47ness or Monty Oon or like these guys who regularly throw money at not just us but other people. Those are the opinions I'm really looking for things like this, because those are the guys who are putting their money where their mouth is. Not to disingenuate the rest of you, you have totally legitimate opinions, just not the ones I'm looking for when I ask that kind of question. So while I appreciate a lot of the suggestions that were brought up to chat, the one I did really enjoy reading was, and this is not a functionality thing on Match Arena, but would be cool, was if you could check a box or use a slider that would say like, oh, I would like this much of the contribution to go elsewhere or to blank. And I know a lot of other places have had that, like fighting game community show matches and stuff have had that set up. Like you donate $10 and like, you know, $2 to the casters, $5 to the player, $3 to the other player type thing.
Yeah.
Match Arena does not have that as a functionality, but I will certainly suggest it because I like that idea. And maybe that's something that can make happen in the future. But anyways, we're going to go to a small commercial break, folks. Thank you to Baneling Bust for the win, who just subbed. And shout out to Bacon Master, who is or Bacon Hero, who's the current bit boss. See you guys soon. All right, folks, we're back once again, and we're hopping into Ascension to Ire. We're going to game number 5. If you're just joining us on the broadcast, it is tied up 2-2 in this best of 7. We threw $200 into the prize pool, and thanks to 47ness, Slows at 12,000, and Duddles, the prize pool is up to $250. Still being split 50-50 amongst the players only.
Yeah. I just casually almost broke my wrist.
Oh, damn. What did you do, girl? Pretty
cool. I was walking downstairs and I'd grabbed onto the railing, but it was like at a higher like level than my head, just weird where our stairs are. And then I slipped and it like snapped my wrist back And if I'd actually fallen, I think it would have been gone. I'd have been a goner. But I'm cool. I'm good. I'm ready. Now I got adrenaline.
Well, do me a favor. Kick off these intros.
All right, then. In the top left, there's the blue Terran. He is special.
And as above the bottom right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Nathanius' favorite color of a condiment, red like ketchup, Snute.
If you don't like ketchup, can you like any sauce that ketchup is in?
That's a good question, because one of my favorite mixtures of burger sauces, you do, I think it's like 1/3 barbecue sauce, 1/3 ketchup, 1/3 Sprite. Mix that together and it makes like a really, really good sauce.
That does sound interesting. No, yeah, exactly. Like, and a lot of barbecue sauces are made with ketchup, and then there's also like Heinz 47, obviously ketchup. So.
Does Heinz even make anything other than ketchup? I mean, let's be honest.
Heinz 47. No, they make mustard too.
I'm sure they do.
It's actually ketchup with food coloring.
It's yellow ketchup. They make yellow ketchup and red ketchup. Okay, so SpeCial, by the way, has gone for 3 racks in a very weird and interesting way. This actually used to be something I enjoyed watching some players do, and I would try to mimic, and it's go badly. But by doing it this way, he's got an absolutely bust-proof wall at home. So no matter how good or bad his aggression's about to be, which it should be good, with Reapers especially, there's not going to be the danger of a counterattack. So he can actually take a command center pretty casually back at home behind it if he doesn't want to over-dedicate to this.
Yeah. We saw a bit of this in the European qualifier a couple days ago. It's funny because I feel like instead of being a reason not to go for Reapers on larger maps, because the Reaper takes longer to get over there and it's longer to reinforce, it's almost a reason to do so. We saw it happen when the maps weren't well tailored for Reaper jump up spots. We still saw a lot of 3-racks Reaper. And yes, one part of that was because this was before the grenade nerf. But the other part I really thought was just because they're having trouble against Zerg. So the Terrans were like, well, we got to try and get an early lead or not bother at all. So I feel like for some people, I don't know about for everyone, for some people that's actually a legitimate reason to do it on these big maps. He's just taking a command center, see how much he dedicates to the Reapers, or how quickly he's going to put a tech lab.
We've talked about this back when the Koreans were discussing this heavily, and it's like, do you go for 9 and cut, 12 and cut? Like, where do you really stop with the Reapers? And I feel like where the game is right now, if you're doing something with them, just keep putting that pressure on. Who the hell cares? But this, no matter how, like, the longer he invests in the Reapers, the longer the factory will be put off, the longer the starport will be put off. And what I'm concerned about is he's actually done nothing with the Reapers so far. It's I guess been kept a little bit of a secret, so Snute doesn't realize how many there's going to be, and the surprise element might work despite the timing.
Yeah. Ascension to Ire is even worse than Odyssey, for instance. There's no Reaper hop-up spot. It really is just all in the front.
God. Oh, lordy. 20 lings on the way with speed should be able to deal with this, but it's not going to be easy because there's going to be so many grenades flying. And it's gonna take more control out of Snute than it will for SpeCial to win this fight. I mean, the nice thing is for SpeCial, like, if Snute's just even a little bit late to the split on the lings, the grenade suddenly hits 14 lings, all for 10 damage. 140 damage feels bad, man. Unless he uses them all on the hatchery.
That was questionable. That's very questionable.
Puts them all on cooldown, which is unfortunate, because what he just tried to do there was, like, I think, reflexive, where you jump the one Reaper up to throw grenades down, get the vision, but that didn't quite work out. Yeah,
that was a really, like, that hatchery is already almost done, so to use all the grenades on it was obviously going to put you in a very vulnerable position, so that was maybe a little bit of a regret, but he saves most of the Reapers anyways, so how much is it really? Unfortunately, with the way that they got the positions, Terran has to have their very important tech labs and reactors in a very easily sniped spot. Not just by Bailings, but literally Lings in the future could grab onto that for like 10 seconds and kill it.
They might. We'll see if that ends up being the case. If Snute doesn't actually go. Oh, big surround of the Reapers is going to be the tap out.
Yeah, right then.
Yo, I love that. Okay, first off, I love that SpeCial, aka Major, just doesn't fuck around. He cut the shit, let's move on to the next game. But on the other hand, it's such abrupt endings. You're kind of like, oh man, at one point you know there's going to be like an Idra GG in there somewhere. Like, somewhere. I just don't know when or why or where. Either way, this now puts Snute 1 win away from victory as he's up 3-2 in the show match. And again, it's a 50-50 split, so it doesn't really matter whether you win or lose. It's all for fun, and it's mostly for the fans.
All right.
Oh, by the way, sorry as I'm continuing to troll Nate and others. Did you see the video I posted? I tagged you in it, me and Kate last night.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, so we went to this place. I had never heard of it before. It's like a Canadian brew house, okay?
Okay.
Really good food, by the way. And it's really cool because there's like so many TVs, and you can actually get like a speaker for your table. Anyways, good place overall. What sold it for me though was the menu was full of bad puns and dad jokes. Like I fell in love immediately. I checked out their Twitter, and the first thing I saw was like this dad joke. What do you call it when your fingers are too cold to type? Or to text, excuse me. Hypothermia. What? I was like, bravo, I'm sold. So, anyways, I continued, obviously, building off the bad jokes, and all throughout dinner, everyone was just, like, groaning and moaning at me, because there's about 4 of us. So I finally decided to record one of them, and it is perhaps, comparable to your level of disappointment in me.
Really?
You should watch the video later. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The best of 7 continues. Spawning here in the top right, he leads 3-2, 1 win away from victory. It is none other than Team Liquid's Snute.
In the bottom left is the blue Terran. He is SpeCial.
Of course, the camera glitching out once again. Now, it's been really weird watching this because SpeCial's victories have not been from this move that he's doing here. It was, of course, the weird game 1 that got aggressive and scary and hellbats and what have you. Then a really good bio play. Instead, he's going for proxy on what is one of the biggest maps, longest distances. This is risky for a lot of different reasons, but mostly just because it's his last life on the line.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he was close to making the proxy Marines work, but didn't. And this is going to be proxy Reapers, so I don't know if it's going to be any better, to be honest. It might be. Snute's going for that hatch gas pool. It's not going to scout this for a very long time. Obviously, even if you got to the natural, that's not where the barracks are, so you would even have a little bit longer to scout it, and by then, there's a lot of Reapers in your face.
Unfortunately, the Overlords have like 0 chance of getting across the map in time. That's really gonna suck. For Snute, though, this is I guess different. Before we did have Marines, not Reapers. This time it is Reapers. And if SpeCial can irk out a victory here, what's the last map in the map pool? Do we know? Have we been to Abyssal Reef?
Yeah, that was the first map. That's a really good question. I feel like it's such an Proxima. Yeah. The old map. All right. Well, we'll see if we even get there. Obviously, Snute knows what's up. Trying to put a spine crawler down. That should get at least pretty healthy. You know, 1 Reaper can't take it on. I don't think 2 Reapers can take it on either. Or kill it fast enough, rather. We'll see. Lings are also going to try its best to protect it. Let's use grenades on it. Okay, so it looks like it's gonna finish, but it won't be very healthy. About half health.
Yeah, but it's gonna have armor, which is what's gonna matter the most for fending off these Reapers. They'll have to use grenades to actually take it down.
Yeah, I mean, SpeCial's gonna get to a lot of Reapers, and you know, you get to like 8 Reapers, and they're gonna kill most things. Oh, maybe not. Nice snipe, nice position with the Lings and Queen over there. This is a bit bold. There's not a lot of Lings to protect it while it does this. Yeah. So that probably wouldn't focus down.
I like hiding in the bunker. It's more than just high ground vision in this instance. The bunker, or the barracks rally, though, makes this a little bit awkward trying to come across that base. So Queens are getting free shots on the Reapers, and they might get caught by Lings. But this like bunker being salvaged, the spine crawler ends up pushing that off pretty nicely. This is so dedicated, though. SpeCial really has to get something done with this, and he's forced a lot out of Snute, but not killed a lot from Snute yet.
Right. I fear it's not snowballing. Snute is looking pretty comfortable. He's even getting a couple more drones in here. SpeCial has not expanded, which Snute doesn't quite have eyes on, but would probably think to look in just like a second here. You really have to move his overlord over like 1 foot.
Oh, that's scary. The Lings having run by, SpeCial has to make a decision right now whether he wants to go home and defend or fight for the last, because those Lings are going to find no wall. All these SCVs will die. There's no question about it.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be the tap-out time, I would expect. Even if he kills all the queens.
Well, so that's where it's kind of interesting, though. It might not be tap-out time, because he might also slaughter everything back here. There's few Lings coming out from 2 different bases getting split. He's got a lot of grenades good to go, and while these Lings are distracted by the depot, they're not running in. He actually brings some of the Lings back home.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think SCV, well, no, I think the SCVs will still die, but here come the Lings, and there are still, well, there's one more queen, another one died midair.
He's actually going to lose some of the Reapers to the Lings here, which is an issue. But yeah, these also don't go into the SCVs until now. He could pull the SCVs. It's just 4 Lings. You would lose SCVs. He dropped supply. I guess he lost his other depot. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Snute was intentionally target firing that. It probably was just the easiest thing to target fire, so he didn't have to micro his units. But those days cleaning up the Reapers and Reapers, no SCVs.
They're both on terrible mining at the end of the day. I guess Snute, though, doesn't need gas, and Major SpeCial, excuse me, really does.
Yeah.
13 workers to 11. You got an odd mule in there, here and there. But the numbers of these Lings, I think, are just starting to really get out of hand. I like the jump ups, I like the control, but it's still, I think, a numbers game favoring Snute way too heavily. It's like 3 Reapers to 20-something Lings.
Yeah. I mean, SpeCial is trying to rebuild a couple SCVs. But, oh, there comes the rest of the Lings to really take out the economy.
Well, that's the thing, though, because if they're all over there, nothing's defending the mineral lines, and I'm not convinced that this is something where Major's lost yet. He doesn't have many units, but he can always lift his buildings, and Snute can't, is the way I'm looking at it.
I think Snute would have been much safer had he halved the amount of Lings each time that he brought forward. Because if he'd done that the first time, then he wouldn't have taken as much damage as he did.
Maybe. He's been completely denied mining, though, while this goes on. Both of them just getting kind of shut down with income.
Yeah. But, yeah, as soon as Lings come back, they can take the Spine Claws, they can reposition. It's really close once again, however. With 3 more Reapers especially, if they can actually join up with these, that's going to be a total of 11. That's a scary number.
At the same time, though, Snute has a heck of a lot of Lings coming home, and oh, he got a little bit greedy going for the spawning pool like that. Out of position, not protecting his Reapers. Grenades are doing okay for now, but he's going to bleed out these Reapers, and let's not forget, he cannot do anything to replace these.
Yeah, that's going to be it, looks like. There it is.
GG. All right, Snoot's going to win 4-2. Not too shabby as far as results go. But ultimately, both players and the viewers are the real winners here, guys.
No.
It's a little bit sad because we didn't get to put on a big show like we had planned for today, but at the same time, having a 3-hour, no, not even like a 2.5-hour show, it's not bad, considering we'll have a pretty busy weekend now.
Yeah.
Thank you, Theranan for the 2-month resub, and Lemon Pepper 512. More Carbot games, please. Maybe another time for sure. And someone has suggested wanting to donate to get some. I don't know. Carbot stuff is fun, but it's definitely not tuned for balance.
No, it is not. There's actually literally some things besides that you just can't perfectly mimic the AI, I think, and of course the size of the units. There's also like the whole like observers being detected thing.
Dude, the Thor in the medevac was the funniest looking thing. Like that thing, it didn't even compact itself. 10
times scarier. When I first saw your Thors with my army, I was like, oh, I can't defeat that, and then I realized there's only 3.
Like the other thing too is like, what if they actually just increased the size of the Thor in regular games? Like it didn't actually change the unit sizing or the pathing or anything like that, but like it was literally just a bigger looking model, you know?
Yeah.
Anyways, that's gonna wrap up the show today, guys. We're gonna play one last set of ads. That way we can hope to. We're not gonna make 200. We're not gonna make anything fucking close to $200 for the show match today, but I think it was still fun. It was still worth putting a show on for you guys. So we'll be back in a couple minutes, and we'll see you guys soon. Okay, we're back. Thank you for watching that last set of ads, guys. I do want to just quickly promote the shirt. We're actually at 49 sold now. 49 out of 50. One more for that goal to be reached. Well, actually, I guess it's technically like 47 because we did give away 2 shirts. That being said, the shirt design looks really awesome. I'm super excited for it. If this goes well and we actually see that there's some hype for clothing stuff, we may get back into it more. And that's when we start considering making some jerseys and some other fun things. But yeah, thanks again for watching. We'll get in contact with the players and get them paid out their prize money ASAP. Snute and Major both. But so this weekend we should be back. Again, we haven't had time because we've been live this whole time. I'll look into when the WCS stuff is. We'll try to avoid conflicts. Keep an eye on the Team Liquid thread for information regarding the moved qualifier. But as No Regret kind of confusingly said on the cast earlier, technically the second wildcard qualifier will play first, and then the first wildcard qualifier is the one that's being moved till after that one.
Yes.
But anyways, I think that's about it. So big shout outs to our sponsors, Twitch and Corsair, and of course you guys who sub to us. I'm going to say it real quick. Twitch has been awesome. You guys don't know the details of this, and I cannot publicly disclose it, but they gave us a budget to help us do StarCraft more, and that's why they're supporting things like the BTSL and the Corsair Cup, etc. But the other part of it is, like, you guys subbing to the channel makes them happy, it makes us happy, and it also gives us the funds to do things like an abrupt $200 show match, which I think, take us back a year, we could not afford to do this. We'd actually have to rely on fan donations and contributions. So it's nice. I bring this up though because I do want to go into this small talk about transparency before the stream is completely off today. And that is, I know with the recent light of drama with the Avilo thing, there's been a lot of people upset about this, that, and the other, and there's the defenders and the supporters, and I'm not trying to get into that, but the topic at hand here is like something I discussed on stream with Nate yesterday that I want to rediscuss with you guys here as our viewers. One of the things about streaming that's I think everybody's aware of to some degree, but nobody really speaks about or says out loud, even if like you, the viewer, or us, the broadcaster, is aware of, is to some degree, every broadcaster, every streamer has to exploit their viewers. Exploiting sounds like a terrible word, but the reality is at the end of the day, if you need money for something, maybe you run a fundraiser. Maybe you actually scam people. Like, the thing is, there's different levels of this, right? One thing I've been very proud of that we've been able to do for like 4+ years is we've never scammed anybody. We've got probably, I would hope, one of the best reputations as we regularly pay out prize money, players, etc. And the concern is that we do a lot of crowdfunding, and I'm scared. I'm not scared like, oh my god, I'm like hiding under the bed and crying, but I am worried that there's going to be blowback, because anytime anything like this happens where another streamer, whether it's someone related to StarCraft or otherwise, does something that's even questionable, it still comes back to us, whether it's fans just asking the question, what's your opinion of blank, or maybe there's now somebody who's a little bit more wary about donating even something like $5 because they just got ripped off by somebody else. I just hope you guys can rest assured that, like, our format here, you'll notice it's been a long time since we've done fundraisers for flights to events. We're fortunate enough that we can afford to pay for that for ourselves now, right? We're not doing fundraising for big hotel stays and et cetera, et cetera. Most of the time, again, we're not even trying to get cuts from the prize money that we raise for players. We're giving it all to the players. So I just want you guys to be rest assured that as we continue to move forward, we're still trying to be about as above board as possible. And all crowdfunding stuff, whether it's the last minute abrupt show match stuff, whether it's the mega tournament fundraiser, which I hope you guys will check out because we still need some help with that, that you guys will feel safe and comfortable with BaseTradeTV, knowing that we're not mishandling things here. So I know that this comes kind of out of nowhere for some of you, but this whole Avilo thing has really blown up over the last day or so, and it doesn't matter about whether he's right or wrong. It's just a matter that we're always doing the best we can to be about as upstanding as we can. And I just hope that you guys can feel comfortable whenever you're watching the channel knowing that. Anyways, but that's a little spiel for who cares, right? Let's get into our goodbyes. Zombie Grub, you want to kick us off? Special shoutouts, so longs, etc.
Sure. Follow me on Twitter at ZG Gaming, on Twitch, Zombie Grub, and at YouTube, Zombie Grub, and look down below at the Amazon links if you ever want to use Amazon, and that's it.
All right. For me, of course, you guys know the deal. Follow the channel, all that good stuff. Later tonight, around 6 p.m. Pacific, I don't know if this will be streamed or not, But I'm actually going to be discussing some stuff with one of the developers of well, the guy who made the BitBoss battle system. But he brought up an interesting point on Twitter last night that I see both sides of that I want to discuss with him, and I'm hoping we can turn it into a stream talk show type thing where he's of the opinion a lot of streamers are I don't know, greedy or cheapskates, I think is the word to use, because they don't want to pay for services, and because so many streaming services have offered themselves for free up to this point, no one's willing to pay a standard. And I'm of the opinion that like a lot of streamers, like majority streamers out there, don't have the money to actually pay for things like this. Like, we're fortunate because we're big now, air quotes here, right? Like, we have subs, we make money, we have income, and we pay people for art and adminning, and we do what we can. Whereas I remember, like, when we started, we were really relying on donations from viewers. If Partoof wasn't giving us like $50 for a show match, we weren't doing anything that week. We weren't able to make content. We weren't able to do cool things. So anyways, I've invited him on Discord, 6 o'clock tonight. We should be having a discussion about it. I think it'll be an interesting discussion. But if anyone's interested, I'm not sure if I'll be streaming that on BaseTrade or my channel, but follow me on Twitter at riff_kings because I'll be tweeting about it from there for sure. But thank you again for watching, everybody, and have a great night. I don't know who we're going to host. Definitely somebody from StarCraft. None of my waifus are online anyways. We'll see you guys later. Thanks again. And
Bye.
Bye.